The distress signal peaceful morning shattered. The twin suns of Kepler, 438 Beetle, cast gentle orange light across the research colony's crystal domes. Dr. Lysa Venturi sipped her morning coffee while reviewing atmospheric data from the planet's lower regions. As the only human stationed among the Zelani researchers, she had grown to love the peaceful rhythm of scientific discovery that defined their small outpost. The Zelani were remarkable beings, tall, graceful creatures with translucent blue skin and 6 delicate arms that moved like flowing water. Their research focused on terraforming techniques that could transform barren worlds into garden paradises. For 3 years, Lysa had worked alongside them, contributing Earth's unique perspective on planetary adaptation. Zethkar, the colony administrator, glided into the observation chamber with his characteristic fluid movement. His large, silver eyes reflected concern as he approached Lysa's workstation. The translator device at his throat converted his musical language into standard galactic speech. Dr. Venturi, our long-range sensors detect multiple ships approaching. The system, they do not respond to our standard greeting protocols. His voice carried the subtle harmonics that indicated deep worry among his species. Lysa set down her coffee and pulled up the sensor display. 12 massive vessels moved in perfect formation toward their peaceful world. The ships were unlike anything in the galactic database, angular, predatory designs that seemed built for war rather than exploration. "Have you tried emergency channels?" Lysa asked, her fingers dancing across the control interface. Her military training from Earth's Naval Academy kicked in automatically, even after years of civilian research work. "All frequencies remain silent," Zethkar replied. "These vessels, they do not match any known peaceful explorers or trading guilds." The attack begins. The answer came 30 minutes later when the first energy beams struck the colony's outer defensive grid. Alarms shrieked through the crystal domes as automated systems activated emergency protocols. The beautiful research paradise transformed into a scene of chaos and terror through the transparent walls. Lysa watched as sleek fighter craft peeled away from the main fleet. They moved with deadly precision, targeting the colony's communication arrays and power generators. Each attack was calculated to disable rather than destroy. These invaders wanted the colony intact. "All colonists to emergency shelters," Zeth's voice echoed through the complex. His natural calm had given way to urgent command tones. "This is not a drill." Lysa grabbed her emergency kit and followed the flowing crowd of Zelani researchers toward the reinforced underground chambers. But her human instincts told her something that others hadn't realized yet. This wasn't a random attack. Someone wanted their terraforming research badly enough to assault a peaceful scientific outpost. The main communication console crackled with an incoming transmission. A harsh, metallic voice filled the chamber, speaking in heavily accented galactic standard. "Zelani, colonists, this is Commander Vrex of the Vex Syndicate. Your research data belongs to us now. Surrender immediately and you will be relocated to appropriate facilities. Resist, and we will demonstrate why civilized species do not oppose." The Syndicate's reputation. Lysa felt ice form in her stomach. Even isolated on their research world, they had heard whispers about the Vex Syndicate. Pirates, slavers, and technology thieves who operated in the lawless regions between major galactic powers. They specialized in capturing advanced research and selling it to the highest bidder. The Zelani possessed no military experience. Their entire culture was built around peaceful cooperation and scientific advancement. They had defensive shields and some basic security systems, but nothing designed to repel a determined military assault. Commander Rex, Zethkar responded through the damaged communication array. "We are a scientific research colony under the protection of the Galactic Research Consortium. Our work is freely shared with all species for the betterment of the galaxy." Harsh laughter echoed from the speakers. "The consortium has no fleet in this sector, Administrator. Your choice is simple. Surrender your data and personnel, or watch us take them by force." More explosions rocked the colony as Vex ground forces began landing near the main research facilities. Through the emergency cameras, Lysa watched armored figures moving with military precision toward their location, humanity's longest. Shot while the Zilani colonists huddled in their emergency shelters, Lysa made her way to the backup communication room. Her human physiology allowed her to move through areas where structural damage made passage dangerous for the more fragile Zilani researchers. The backup transmitter was barely functional, its power supply damaged by the initial attack. But Lysa's engineering training told her it might have enough range to reach the edge of the system, where Earth's newest deep space vessel was conducting routine patrol operations. She activated her personal communicator, broadcasting on emergency frequencies that the Earth's Space Force monitored continuously. The message would be weak, possibly garbled by interference, but it was their only hope. "This is Dr. Lysa Venturi, Earth Science Corps, attached to Zilani Research Colony 7 on Kepler 438b. We are under attack by hostile forces identifying themselves as the Vex Syndicate. 12 warships, unknown armament, demanding surrender of research, data, and personnel. Colonial defenses failing. Requesting immediate assistance from any Earth vessels in range." She paused, knowing that the next part of her message might determine whether anyone would risk coming to their aid. "Be advised, attackers appear to be professional military forces with advanced weapons and tactics. This is not a rescue operation. This is a call for military intervention against overwhelming odds. The UES Redemption responds 300 million kilometers away." Captain Alina Rodriguez was reviewing supply manifests in her ready room aboard the UES Redemption when the distress signal reached their communication array. The newest vessel in Earth's expanding fleet, the Redemption represented humanity's growing confidence in their ability to explore and protect their interests among the stars. Lieutenant Marcus Chen, her tactical officer, burst through the door without requesting permission. His combat experience from Earth's various conflicts had taught him to recognize genuine emergencies. "Captain, we're receiving a distress call from the Kepler system. One of our people is trapped in what sounds like a major military assault." Alina followed Chen to the bridge, where communications officer Janet Walsh was working to clean up the transmission. The message played through speakers that carried Lysa's desperate voice across the void between worlds. Dr. Venturi, Alina said after hearing the complete message. "I remember her from the academy, brilliant scientist, but she also graduated top of her class in combat engineering." Chief Engineer Amara Okafor looked up from her console, her fingers still working to optimize their engine output. "Captain, Kepler 438b is 18 hours away at maximum burn. If they're under attack by professional military forces, they'll be dead or captured long before we arrive," Alina finished. She studied the tactical display showing their current position relative to the besieged colony. Every instinct told her this was a suicide mission, one ship against 12. Arriving too late to change the outcome. But Alina Rodriguez had not become humanity's youngest starship captain by avoiding difficult decisions. She had earned her command by demonstrating exactly the kind of stubborn determination that Earth's dangerous environment bred into its children. Earth's children prepare for war, all hands. Battle stations, Alina announced over the ship's communication system. We have a rescue operation in hostile territory. This is not a drill. The bridge transformed as combat protocols activated. Lieutenant Chen began analyzing what little intelligence they had about Vex Syndicate tactics and equipment. Chief Okafor pushed their engines beyond normal operating parameters, coaxing every possible bit of speed from their advanced drive systems. Dr. Samuel Park, their xenobiologist, provided crucial background information about the Zalani colonists. They're peaceful researchers, Captain. No military training, no combat experience. If the Vex Syndicate follows their usual pattern, they'll either enslave the colonists or eliminate them once they have what they came for. Alina studied the crew roster, calculating their chances against a professional military force with overwhelming numerical superiority. The Redemption carried a crew of 89 humans, veterans from Earth's various military services who had volunteered for deep space assignments. What the Vex Syndicate didn't understand was what it meant to be human. They had no experience fighting. Opponents who came from a world where everything tried to kill you from the moment you were born. Earth's gravity, weather, predators, and diseases had forged humanity into something the galaxy had never encountered before. Navigation, plot the fastest course to Kepler 438b, Alina ordered. Engineering, I want every weapon system checked and ready. Communications, keep trying to reach Dr. Venturi. Let her know help is coming. The human advantages, the EU's redemption, accelerated toward the besieged colony. Alina reviewed everything they knew about the Vex Syndicate. Most galactic species viewed them as an unstoppable force, highly organized, well-equipped, and ruthlessly efficient. But Alina had grown up in the Amazon basin, where human children learned to navigate environments that would kill most galactic species within hours. She had served in Earth's military during the Resource Wars, where humans had demonstrated their ability to fight effectively even when outnumbered and outgunned. The Vex Syndicate was about to learn why Earth's children were called Deathworlders. Lieutenant Chen completed his tactical analysis and turned to face his captain. Based on their previous operations, the Vex forces will try to secure the research facility intact. That means they'll avoid using their heaviest weapons until they have what they came for. How long do we have? Alina asked. If the colonists can hold out in their emergency shelters, maybe 6 to 8 hours before the Syndicate breaks through their defenses. Alina nodded, calculating arrival times and combat scenarios. They would reach the system with perhaps 2 hours to spare, enough time to assess the situation and plan their attack. All departments, prepare for combat operations, she announced. We're going to show the galaxy what happens when you threaten Earth's people. The race against time back on Kepler 438b, the situation continued to deteriorate. Vex ground forces had secured the main research buildings and were systematically breaking down the barriers protecting the emergency shelters. Their equipment was designed for exactly this type of operation, capturing valuable assets while minimizing damage to facilities and personnel. Lysa managed to maintain sporadic communication with the underground shelters where the Zalani researchers waited in terrified silence. Zethkar's natural leadership kept his people calm, but everyone understood that their defensive systems were failing. Dr. Venturi Zethkar's voice crackled through the damaged communication link. Have you received any response to your distress signal? Earth Command confirms they received our message, Lysa replied. Help is coming, but I don't know if it will arrive in time. What she didn't tell the Zilani administrator was that only one ship was coming to their rescue. The odds were impossible, but Lysa knew something that the Vex Syndicate would learn very soon. Humans didn't surrender when the odds were impossible. They got angry. The final phase of the assault was about to begin, and the Vex Syndicate had no idea they were about to face the galaxy's most dangerous predators. Asterisk. The Death World of the Redemption, the US Redemption dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler system like a predator emerging from tall grass. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge, studying the tactical display that showed 12 Vex Syndicate warships surrounding the besieged colony world. Christ, Lieutenant Chen whispered as the scope of the enemy force became clear. Captain, those aren't just raiders. That's a full battle group. Elena's expression remained calm as she analyzed the enemy formation. The Vex ships were massive, each one easily 3 times the size of her vessel. Their weapons arrays bristled with energy cannons and missile launchers, designed to overwhelm any opposition through sheer firepower. But Elena had learned something during her years. Fighting in Earth's brutal conflicts, size wasn't everything. Speed, cunning, and the willingness to accept casualties that other species considered unacceptable. Those were the advantages that had made humanity the apex predator on their homeworld. Communications, any word from Dr. Venturi? Elena asked. Intermittent. Signals, Captain, replied Officer Walsh. The colony's main communication array is down, but she's managed to jury-rig something from the backup systems. Ground forces are inside the research facility. She estimates maybe 90 minutes before they breach the final emergency shelters. Elena nodded and turned to her tactical officer. Chen, I want you to study their formation. These pirates have been successful because they've never faced real opposition. They're configured for intimidation, not actual combat. The human analysis chief, engineer, Okafor, joined the bridge crew as they approached the outer planets of the Kepler system. Her dark eyes studied the technical readouts from the Vex warships with the practiced gaze of someone who had spent years maintaining equipment in Earth's harshest environments. Captain, their ships are impressive, but they're built for show. As much as function. Look at these energy signatures. They're running their reactors at maybe 60% capacity. They don't expect anyone to fight back. Dr. Park added his analysis from the science station. The Vex Syndicate operates primarily against species that surrender when faced with superior numbers. According to our database, they've never encountered prolonged resistance from any target. Elena smiled grimly. The Vex Syndicate was about to receive an education in human warfare. Every member of her crew had survived Earth's deadly environment and earned their place through demonstrated competence under impossible conditions. All hands, this is the captain, Elena announced over the ship's communication system. In approximately 45 minutes, we will engage 12 enemy warships in defense of a human citizen and her alien colleagues. The odds are 12-2. 1 against us. The enemy has superior numbers, superior firepower, and superior defensive capabilities. She paused, knowing that her next words would determine whether her crew approached the coming battle with fear or confidence. But they have one critical weakness. They have never fought humans before. They don't understand that we come from a world that tried to kill us every single day, and we survived by becoming something the galaxy has never seen. Today, they learn why Earth's children are called Deathworlders. The battle begins the Redemption approached the colony world using the gravitational shadow of Kepler 438b's largest moon. Elena's navigation officer, Lieutenant Sarah Kim, had plotted a course that would bring them within weapons range before the Vex sensors could track their approach. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Vex flagship," Walsh reported. "Put it through," Elena ordered. The main screen filled with the image of Commander Vrex, a reptilian humanoid whose scarred features spoke of numerous successful campaigns. His yellow eyes showed mild curiosity as he studied the bridge of the approaching human vessel. "I am Commander Vrex of the Vex Syndicate. You have entered a restricted zone during an active military operation. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." Elena stepped forward, her posture radiating the calm confidence that had carried her through countless dangerous situations on Earth and in space. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the United Earthship Redemption. You are attacking a research colony under Earth's protection. Withdraw your forces immediately or face the consequences." Vrex's expression shifted from curiosity to amusement. "Captain Rodriguez, you command one vessel against my battle group of 12 warships. Are humans truly so primitive that they cannot comprehend basic mathematics?" "Math has nothing to do with it," Elena replied. "This is about what happens when you threaten our people." Death World tactics. The conversation ended when the Redemption opened fire. But instead of engaging the enemy fleet directly, Elena implemented tactics that no civilized species would consider acceptable. Chen, target their lead destroyer with a full spread of quantum torpedoes. Okafor, divert all power from life support to weapons and shields. We won't need to breathe if we're dead. The human warship accelerated directly toward the center of the Vex formation, its weapons blazing with energy levels that pushed their systems beyond safe operating parameters. The lead Vex destroyer vanished in a brilliant explosion as human torpedoes overwhelmed its defensive screens through sheer concentrated firepower. "Impossible," Vrex snarled, as reports flooded in from his remaining ships. "No single vessel carries that much firepower." What the Vex commander didn't understand was that humans routinely operated equipment at dangerous levels because they had learned to accept risks that other species considered suicidal. Every system on the Redemption was running at maximum output, generating heat and stress that would have terrified any sane engineer. The human ship twisted through the enemy formation like a fighter craft, using its superior speed and maneuverability to avoid the massive energy beams that the Vex warships directed at its previous position. Elena's crew had trained for exactly this type of engagement, outnumbered, outgunned, with no option except victory or death. "The turning point, Captain. Vex ground forces are reporting unusual resistance from inside the research facility," Chen announced as he monitored enemy communications. Something about the human scientist organizing some kind of defense. On the planet's surface, Dr. Lysa Venturi had indeed organized a defense that the Vex ground forces were completely unprepared to face. Using her knowledge of the facility's layout and her combat engineering training, she had turned the research complex into a deadly maze of improvised traps and ambush points. The Zilani researchers, despite their peaceful nature, had proven surprisingly effective at following Lysa's tactical instructions. Their 6 arms and natural agility made them excellent at manipulating the facility's automated systems to create obstacles and diversions. "Zethkar, can your people seal off Section C7? Lysa asked through her communicator as she rigged an explosive device from laboratory chemicals. "Already accomplished, Dr. Venturi," the Zilani administrator replied. Our atmospheric processing systems are flooding that area with nitrogen. The intruders are being forced to use their emergency breathing apparatus. Lysa smiled grimly. The Vex Syndicate had expected to face helpless scientists, not a human who had learned survival tactics in Earth's Amazon rainforest, and a species of aliens who understood their own technology better than any invader possibly could. Space battle intensifies above the planet. The space battle had evolved into a deadly dance between human audacity and Vex firepower. The Redemption had destroyed 3 enemy warships, but had sustained significant damage to its hull and weapon systems. Engineering to bridge, Okoffer's voice crackled through speakers filled with static. Captain, we've lost primary weapons. Control and our shield generators are operating at 20% capacity. I can give you maybe 10 more minutes at this power level before something critical fails. Alina studied the tactical display. 9 Vex warships remained, their commanders now fully aware that they faced an opponent unlike anything in their previous experience. The human vessel should have been destroyed in the first exchange of fire, but it continued to fight with a ferocity that defied all tactical analysis. Chen, what's the status of their flagship? Alina asked. Still operational, but they've taken damage to their primary weapon systems. Captain, I'm reading massive power fluctuations from their engines. I think they're preparing to retreat. Alina felt a cold fury building in her chest. The Vex Syndicate had attacked a peaceful research colony, threatened human citizens and their alien colleagues, and now they thought they could simply withdraw when the fighting became too costly. Not happening, she said quietly. Navigation, plot an intercept course for their flagship. Full speed, the final gambit. What Alina ordered next would have been considered insane by any rational military analyst. The Redemption, already damaged and outgunned, accelerated directly toward the Vex flagship in what appeared to be a suicide attack. Captain, Chen said carefully, our weapons are offline and our shields are failing. If we ram them, we'll destroy both ships. Elena's smile was the expression of a predator that had cornered its prey. Chen, we're not going to ram them. We're going to board them. The explanation that followed demonstrated exactly why humans were considered the galaxy's most dangerous species. Alina intended to use the Redemption's remaining momentum to breach the flagship's hull, then lead a boarding party into the enemy vessel. All security teams, prepare for boarding operations, Alina announced. Chief Santos, break out the heavy weapons. We're going to show these pirates what happens when humans get angry. Chief Maria Santos, a veteran of Earth's urban warfare conflicts, began distributing weapons and equipment designed for close-quarters combat. Her boarding teams included Marines who had learned to fight in environments that would kill most galactic species within minutes. Victory through impossible odds. Redemption's hull scraped against the Vex flagship as Lena's navigation officer performed a docking maneuver that violated every safety protocol in the Earth Space Force manual. Human Marines poured through the breach in the enemy hull, their weapons blazing as they encountered Vex security forces. What followed was a demonstration of why civilized species feared humans in close combat. The Marines moved through the enemy ship with ruthless efficiency. Their training and natural aggression, overwhelming defenders who had never faced opponents willing to accept casualties in pursuit of victory. Commander Rex found himself face to face with Captain Rodriguez in his own command center, his bridge crew either dead or fled. The reptilian commander's yellow eyes showed something humans recognized, but most galactic species had forgotten genuine fear. Your species fights like demons, Rex said, as he surrendered his weapon. How do you accept such losses for strangers? Alina looked around the damaged bridge, where human Marines were securing Vex officers and damaged equipment. 3 of her people had died in the boarding action, with 7 more seriously wounded. They weren't strangers, Alina replied. Dr. Venturi is one of our people. The Zelani colonists were under our protection. You made this personal when you attacked them. Liberation and aftermath, with their flagship captured and their battle groups scattered. The remaining Vex forces withdrew from the Kepler system. Human Marines descended to the planet's surface, where they found Dr. Venturi and the Zelani colonists emerging from their damaged but intact research facility. Zethkar approached Captain Rodriguez with the fluid grace characteristic of his species. But his large eyes showed an emotion that humans rarely saw from other galactic civilizations. Genuine gratitude mixed with awe. Captain Rodriguez, your species has saved not only our lives, but our life's work. The research we conduct here will benefit the entire galaxy. How can we possibly repay such a debt? Alina looked around at the damaged but salvageable research facility, then at her crew working alongside Zelani scientists to restore critical systems. The cooperation between human and alien personnel was seamless, based on mutual respect and shared goals. No debt necessary, Administrator Zethkar. This is what allies do for each other. Dr. Venturi joined the conversation, her scientific clothing torn and stained from her improvised defense of the facility. Despite the ordeal, her eyes showed the same determination that had carried her through years of dangerous research on alien worlds. Captain, the Vex Syndicate will report this defeat to their superiors. Word will spread that humans fought 12-to-1 odds and won. That's going to change how the galaxy views our species. Alina nodded, understanding the larger implications of their victory. Humanity had announced its presence among the stars, not through diplomacy or trade, but through their willingness to fight impossible battles for their people and their principles. Okay, new galactic reality as the redemption prepared. To escort the Zelani research vessels to safety, Alina reflected on what had transpired. The Vex Syndicate had learned why Earth's children were called Deathworlders. But more importantly, peaceful species throughout the galaxy had gained a powerful ally. The rescue operation had demonstrated that humans possessed something most galactic. Civilizations had lost over millennia of peaceful expansion, the willingness to face overwhelming odds for the sake of others. Humanity had answered the distress call, and the galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk.